Hello everyone, and a very warm welcome to the Mara Triangle in Kenya. We just had some wonderful school drive with some 3 schools, and now we have our regular viewers, and welcome. My name is David, and on camera with me is Archie. Archie, very good afternoon. Well, when we started, it was a warm, hot afternoon, 85 degrees Fahrenheit or 29 degrees metric Celsius. But I want to tell you, it has cooled off. And apart from that, I'm looking at the clouds, Archie. If you'd want to show viewers how the clouds look like, apart from the lions that you see there, I want to show you the lions, and I'm sure first let's have a look at the clouds and come back to the action of the lions. Well, we think the season of the long rains in Kenya is around the corner, and from that sky there, that's the eastern side of the eastern horizon, you can tell how things look like or how things would be in the next few days. We have been seeing a bit of lightning here and there. That does not deter these lions from feeding, and Isaac was around here. Isaac is my other fellow guide. He was around here this morning, and he had a wonderful drama. He saw like 3 different prides of lions coming to this particular kill. Now, this area I am at is what I personally call the Sausage Republic area, because there's a particular pride of lions here that will always defend this territory, making sure no other lions come here, and not even any other predators, including hyenas. But today, I think things or the dynamics have changed a little bit. My own judgment, I think here we got lions from 2 different prides. Joy in Hong Kong, how are you? And we cannot thank you enough for paying us a visit the other day. I was so excited and felt very honored to see you coming all the way from the Mara. And I'm going to tell you, Jumbo. And your question is, who do you think or who brought these lions down initially? And Joy, this was done by the experts. The sausage girls, the sausage girls have a speciality of bringing down the buffaloes. And I'm sure you remember when you were here for 3 days, they went missing. The sausages in their cabs went missing. And it's until yesterday when we found them again. So we think the day before is when they brought this massive male buffalo down. And it was the sausage pride that killed it. Now, they had a fair share of what they wanted until this morning, and as it started to not rot, to smell a little bit, they moved away, and these other lions took advantage of what was left by the sausages. Very good. Always a joy to hear your name, Joy in Hong Kong. And we'll move you now to South Africa, because Ali got an impala.
We do have something incredibly small. This must be one of the really late borns of the impala. Tiny impala lamb that we just managed to spot from across the road. Now, it's in the thickets with its mother. We cannot see the rest of the herd. And judging by how wobbly it seems to be on its feet, I don't think it's more than a few days old. So while it is possible for impala to give birth so late, it is very rare to, or at least for us over here, to actually have seen one that is that little. That is incredibly cute. My name is Ali, and my heart is warm and fuzzy. And today I've got 7 camera with me, and I know I saw a little tear trickle down his eye when he saw the baby impala as well.
No, it's not true.
If you've got any comments or questions, feel free to send them through using the hashtag Safari Live or the at FC on the YouTube chat. Now, this is such an incredible find. We were definitely not expecting to see such a tiny little impala, and you can see it's still a little bit wobbly on its feet, doesn't really know what it wants to do. We are quite a distance from them, obviously, because it's a sensitive sighting. Mom is just grooming him now. Oh, that is just precious. It's such a little thing. And normally impalas tend to give birth at the beginning of the rainy season, but the last few years, because we've had such strange weather conditions and there hasn't been enough food, perhaps not enough rain, so it happens that the impala have been giving birth a little bit later every year. We used to take bets, and they started giving birth around about October, beginning of October. Now it seems like it's or at least in the last 2 or 3 years, it seems like it's a little bit later. And this is one of the smallest ones that I've seen in the season so far. Definitely the smallest one that I've seen. I mean, we are, I want to say, almost the middle of February. What day is it today? 11th?
7.
Oh, my watch is stuck in the 11th of last month. That's wonderful. Okay, the 7th of February.
Stuck in your own bubble.
Yeah, stuck in his own little thing. Emma thinks it's the 9th. I think we don't know what is happening. The 7th. Okay, good team effort to figure out what day it is. It's so tiny, and you see, like, still wobbly. It's got all the skin dry, so we know that it hasn't been born in the last few hours. At least that gives us a good indication. But you see how it still cannot walk properly. Look at that. Still trying to figure out what to do with its very long legs. Oh, you're so sweet. Sniffing everything around. Now, when the mother feels a little bit threatened, or if she's unsure of everything, then she's going to take it. She's going to take it further into the bushes. Also, well, to prevent it from getting a little bit too cold, but also to make sure that no predators see it. I agree with you, Mrs. Lapwing. A little peanut, that's exactly what it looks like. And compared to other things, that's what it looks like. Oh, look at her, it can't even walk. Oh, that is precious. That is incredibly sweet. I think we're going to leave this mom and this tiny little one. If we go forward, then we're not going to be able to see them all that much, because unfortunately it gets quite thick all the way there. So the last thing we want to do is stress the mom or the little one out with, the vehicle movements and so on. And also there's no road there, so we can't really do anything. Lenny, I agree. It seems like it might need training wheels to be able to learn how to walk and how to manage around here. But they're pretty agile, and they normally can stand within a few minutes, and they can run within a few hours of actually having been born. So it's one of the things that they've got to learn, or one of the interesting adaptations that impala have got to be able to survive in the wild. All right. Bye-bye, Mom. Thanks for showing your little one. We appreciate it. It was incredibly warm. So tiny. Cool. So we're gonna leave them. Yeah. Unfortunately, I wanted to check if perhaps there was a second view that we could have, but nothing from that. Seems like Steve is searching for something all across in a different land. So let's head over to him and find out what he's in search of.
Good afternoon. Welcome back to Normal Drive. My name obviously is Steve. I'm with an afternoon of babies. We had some baby elephants there. Ellie's got the smallest baby impala anywhere we've ever seen. And then I had baby waterbuck, fresh baby waterbucks, little baby kudus. It's definitely that time of the year, folks. If you enjoy baby animals, this is the time of year that you should come on safari. Fortunately, though, it generally can be very hot. But today is a very mild 85, 29 Celsius. So, very mild day. We've been on Chitwa, and we had those Ellies. Now we're going to see where they've gone to. They went directly sort of north, away from the dam. Just come back out of Chitwa. We're on Gari Main now. We might go into Torchwood and then slowly up towards Bufosuk sort of dam area. But who knows? Anything could happen along the way. As Ali says, I'm looking for more. Looking for any. I think I might just zoom in over here and go and have a little look along this road and cut through Torchwood, northeastern side of Djuma. The elephants definitely crossed the boundary. Maybe we can catch up with them. Don't forget, folks, we are live and interactive. We'd love to hear from you. Hashtag Safari Live. Let us know what you'd like to talk about this afternoon. I know that there is a lovely Euphorbia tree along this road. Ellie was looking for this morning. I don't think she knew exactly where to look, but it is along this road. I know someone here, one of the candelabras, a tree that is extremely poisonous and elephants will not touch. Because if you get any of that white latex on your skin, it will burn you. A friend of mine who used to work with me demonstrated it with some guests. it on. He took a drop of it. It blistered him so badly he could barely close his arm for about 2 weeks. Well, if you're going to do something silly like that, you're going to pay the price. Anyway, here we go. We found ourselves some more kudu. The kudu with some oxpeckers, moving very slowly. Very delicate movements. It's quite windy. We followed up earlier. We saw a huge herd of animals running on the other side of Chitwa watering hole, and we went to go see if we could find anything, but didn't manage to find anything. Anyway, we'll continue on here into Torchwood. Let's go have a look at this Euphorbia tree and then see what else we can find. Oh, it's a duiker. A little duiker just scared them. Sorry about that, Emma. I will send you all off to David up in the Maasai Mara with his buffalo who are having an afternoon snack.
On the horizon there, you can see a wall of rain from the eastern horizon, and I want to feel maybe the long rains might have started rather early here in the Mara. And if that's the case, then we shall be having some rains every few days. But all is good. You can see in the background there. And is that a lioness there? Yes. Now, that lioness, thank you, Archie. This is a member of the sausage tree pride. Now, this girl and the other 4 girls are the one that brought down that buffalo that Joy in Hong Kong was asking about, who brought it down. Now, they've been eating it for the last 3 days, including this morning when Isaac was around. And as Isaac left, there was a bit of what he said, confusion, and he got mixed up because there were lions all over, lions fighting different prides, different groups, which I kept laughing and said, Isaac, you should have called that a pandemonium. Now, that lioness there is a member of the Sausage Tree Pride. Not sure what she's thinking. I do not know she would want to come and deal with these 5 strangers here. I hide it out. Even the thing, he better tag along with one of the pride males that we call the Old Dodger Pike. Now, these boys and one girl here are taking advantage of, of what was killed by the sausages. And Tanya would like to know how many hours will lions eat, say, in a day. Now, these lions here, Tanya, that you see, since we got here, they have been eating. And what lions will normally do, will get into a kill after, of course, they do all the job, eat, and they're to their full. And once full, they may either go have a drink of water, and after they drink water, choose either to come back to the kill and keep eating or have a nap. Of course, Tanya, that will depend on the sex. We have seen males eating a lot more than females. Of course, young cubs will eat less than fully grown cubs. You see, like that one lioness there, you're just holding a leg, Tanya, and simply because these boys here cannot allow him to eat together with them the softer part. So she's just struggling to get anything from that particular dry leg that was cleaned by the sausages earlier. So a few factors come in play just to know exactly how much lion or lioness can eat in one sitting. We know, Tanya, for a fact, fully grown males in one sitting comfortably, they can even eat up to 40, 50 kilos. We talk of 80, sometimes up to 100 pounds in one sitting. Loads of pounds of meat in one sitting. One male in this particular coalition or group here, not this particular ones here, that belongs to the Ondonyo Pike, kept eating, and we got worried, that he would either have gotten constipation or some bloating. He could not stop eating meat for maybe a minimum of an hour. Crunching. The girls would come close, he would chase them away. But well, that is the life of the table manners of the lions. Now here, we're in what I call the Sausage Republic area, but none of these members belong to that pride. All of them are very different. And what's happening here, there's one particular lioness either debating, does she come here or she does not? Well, there are lots of dangers that will happen. As we wait to see what will happen, we'll take you back to South Africa to Steve Ovo, who is still tracking.
Welcome back, everybody. Well, the Sausage Tree Pride really are the masters of the buffalo, aren't they? And, well, as promised, here we have got a Euphorbia. I'm not 100% sure which species it is. There's a number of indigenous euphorbias in South Africa. I think this might be Euphorbia ingens, but I'm not 100% sure without being able to see any of the flowers really on there. The flowers come on the tips of the branches there. I can't really tell you. But euphorbias, ladies and gentlemen, I told you moments ago, are extremely poisonous. Very, very rich, milky latex inside that will blind you if you get it in your eye. And it will burn your skin. So animals generally leave it alone completely. There's only 2 animals I know of that are able to sort of do something with the euphorbia. One is the black rhino, that's able to somehow eat euphorbias, the latex and everything, and then porcupine will often eat the bark and sometimes the roots as well. So poisonous because they are like a chocolate cake of moisture in the African savanna. And, well, can you imagine an elephant having a field day with that? It would make very quick work. But the design of the euphorbia, being a succulent, you can see it's very fleshy. The branches are actually, the leaves are modified stems that do all the photosynthesis. There is enormous surface area, or should I say the surface area is reduced on a euphorbia versus a normal leaf. You can imagine all the transpiration and photosynthesis is happening on those really large, thick, arm-like structures with a very short, or should I say low surface area to volume ratio. A huge amount of the plant is always in the shade. It shades itself, and it's poisonous to protect it from being eaten. So there we go. Beautiful big candelabra tree. Some of you might want to know what the word candelabra means, and as far as I'm aware, it is the old chandelier type candlestick that we used to get back in the day. And that's where the name comes from. Albeit, there could be many birds that nest inside there. Obviously, birds nest in all sorts of trees, but not necessarily in the actual branches like that. We can't really see down to the bottom, but generally, when you get further down the tree itself, it gets a lot more woody and a lot more bark-like as we go down. It's possible there could be some cavities even further down than that could be created, that could then facilitate some birds living inside, but it's not a very woody plant. Euphorbias are succulents, and once they get damaged or once something happens to the plant itself, it pretty much just shrivels up and dies. So it doesn't maintain the same woody structure as a normal tree. Lorena, that is a really good question. I actually have no idea. Without being able to tell you the exact species, I mean, looking at the height, we're looking at about, how high would you say that is, BK? That is about 20 meters, about probably 18 meters or so, 17, 18 meters. That is a big euphorbia, and it is growing in underneath a knobthorn tree. I honestly don't know how long they take to grow. They're pretty slow growing plants in their own right. They don't need to build as much sort of woody material as trees do. So I really don't have any idea how old this tree could be, or how long it takes to grow, to be honest with you. But I'm going to have a look to find out exactly. I don't know where I'm going to find it from. Well, there we've found the euphorbia as promised. We're going to continue on to see if we can find some tracks or maybe even those elephants. Well, let's jump back over onto Djuma with Ali, who is tracking.
Well, it seems like it's not going too animal-like because they have been a little bit tricky to find. But we have managed to find one on top of his kingdom, or on top of a termite mound. So we've got what looks to be a Senegal lapwing on top of a termite mound. Perhaps there was something a little bit earlier that gave him a fright. And he's, just like the cats do, taking a bit of a vantage point to survey his territory, just see who's coming or who might be approaching from further away. Oh, you agree with me? Oh, there we go. You're calling. Again, please. Very subtle. Perhaps it's lost its partner and that's why it started calling as well. Perhaps it's here somewhere. I feel like it suits you, the termite mound. You're a well-colored, thought-out environment. Now you see the wind is blowing a little bit, so the conditions have been funny the whole day, but it's good conditions for predators to be moving around all throughout the day. So I wouldn't be surprised that there was something around here, and a predator for Senegal lapwing can be anything from a jackal to wildcat, caracal, serval in my wildest dreams. Of course, smaller leopards perhaps younger ones might try their luck, but they don't really signify a nice meal. And then if they were to have eggs, or if there's a nest anywhere around here, because they have their nests on the ground, then pretty much anything like a monitor lizard or other lizards or even other birds will come down and try to eat them. I think for now he's just surveying his area, just making sure that everything is under control, so not too much to worry about. On the other hand, I've got very exciting news. Well, at least I am excited because I feel like in the last few days I have been a shark. I've just been doing a boundary drive all around Juma, Triple M, Gowrie Main, Triple M, Gowrie Main, Triple M. Like basically this is what I've been doing. But today, one of the guys, or just now a few moments ago, he confirmed that Shidulu was seen walking from Arathusa, then she went onto Huffmans. Now if we imagine these are the two main roads, so there's another road that drives here. She was last seen somewhere around this area, this junction. Pardon? I don't know if the map is here. I think, it is. Look at that. Well done, Sebastian. This is why we keep you around. So, in theory, somewhere around here, this property here is Hoffman's. And then they say that she was seen going north somewhere here from Arathusa. Then she went onto Triple M, which is this main road here, and then walked along here, carried on walking, and then apparently went back into Arathusa. So she's somewhere around here, somewhere around this area, but it's good. It means that she's coming closer. I hope that she's not going to go into Hoffman's, because then we won't see her. But good times. I'm going to carry on just, being a shark and driving around those roads all the time, because I'm determined to be able to see those little cubs now that I've got the opportunity to drive around. So that should be nice. The guys say that, Ellie, just relax. They'll get there. So hopefully she will. I'm sure that would be very exciting. African flying, we have to... Sorry, Emma, I've got confused now. I thought I understood the question, but I didn't. Would you mind repeating it again? Yes, sir. Oh, do we have any tips when we're driving to find the tracks? Well, I think a key element that we often forget, and it's funny how much this actually happens, is we have to remember to look down. Because often when we're driving, you're just trying to scan the area, so you try to look everything, try to take anything in, because sometimes the animals are hiding in the bushes, so you want to be able to see them. But it's important to always to try and to look, well, I'm a little bit smaller, so I should actually put another blanket on top of me, on the seat, so that I can sit on top of it, to be able to see what's in front. So often as you drive, and it requires a little bit of practice, you see some things on the road. So if I were to stop here, for example, you can start determining that there are some things that are not tire tracks on the road just by having a closer look. So if you see there are some tracks. You can see the tire tracks to the left, the middle part of the road where roughly there's nothing, and then the other side of the road. So this is pretty much the view that we have. And then when you see from here, just judging by the distance or the general shape, then you can tell, okay, there's antelope that have been going around here. And obviously leopard and lyre tracks are a little bit easier because they're roundy. So in subsoil like this where the substrate is very easy to disturb, then it's easy to see the tracks. It becomes a lot trickier when you're going on parts of the road, especially rocky areas, because then the tracks are much harder to see. So it requires a lot of skill, and I've met some people that are incredibly skilled at tracking, but it's very complicated. It just requires, I would assume, a lot of practice and just keeping your eyes on the road. Often there will be disturbances and things that just catch your eye that you can further investigate. Although, sadly, for today, we've had none of those things. It seems like it's been just a lot of antelope that have been walking up and down the roads, but not really anything that's been, or none of the big cats or the creatures that we want to see. No, if Emma just spoke, I did not copy her, but it seems like she wants us to send you guys across to Steve, which we'll of course do. So, no, not going with Steve anymore. Okay, feel like the gremlins are attacking the radio today. I don't know why they're doing this, but that's fine. We'll fight them off. We're not scared. It's not the first time that I've been attacked. I feel like it happens when the weather is like this. I'm sure there's something with the frequency and all of other things. Seems like, though, David does have a gremlin-free drive, so we'll send you guys across to him to also enjoy the view.
Sorry about that, Ali, and I know you are such a good fighter. As soon as those gremlins attack you, I know once you get yourself organized, you'll beat them hands down. Well, very lucky where we are. No gremlins, but just enjoying some lovely lions who are having dinner. I would say this is dinner because about 6 o'clock Kenyan time, and the way they are eating is very strange. Any good meat or any good flesh on this particular buffalo, it's gone. And they're getting now to the skin, and the buffalo skin is pretty, hard and very thick. We're talking of sometimes it could even be like half an inch thick or 1 inch thick. And for them to try and get it piece after piece, it's like they're having a very sharp dagger to cut it. But the only one reason for that is currently in the Mara Triangle where we are, most of the easy prey for the carnivores and especially the lions is gone. I'm talking of the wildebeest and the zebras. They are all gone in Serengeti National Park in Tanzania. So these carnivores here are only left with one choice, tough prey to bring down. And any one time they bring it down, they'll get even the last pound. Alex, you'd like to know why the sausages moved away. Well, the sausages, there's one particular female that's called Mitty. Did you hear that? Males are always a bit rough to the females when they're on the table eating. So the one moving away there, that's a female there. Look how she looks. Not very good looking because these boys here are not allowing her to enjoy anything. And look at her body. She doesn't look very good. Not that she is sick. My guess is she could just be a little emaciated because of hunger. You see that? Physically, her skin looks fine, but to me, a bit thin for only one reason I would guess. Just a bit of starvation. Not as bad, and she doesn't look bad as, some of the lions when they have mange. Anyhow, I was talking of the easy prey of the wildebeest and the zebras are not here. So what the lions are left with are, for example, buffaloes. And when they bring one down, they'll eat to the last piece of that particular buffalo or that particular kill. Now, what you want to bear there, you better rest there and see, you got a leg for yourself. Good. So that's why, when the sausages left and then these ones came in, they have to make sure they are going to clean all what is here. They'll try and break all those ribs that you see there. They're going to try and get the pubic, which I definitely doubt. But if you look closely, I'm actually going to show you the skin, and it looks like they got very sharp teeth, which we definitely know they do. And it's like, you see the white part of that skin? Look at that. Those are lion teeth, believe it or not. See that? How they do the shear, the sneering, using the premolars or the carnassial teeth. See how white it is? You might think someone have a very sharp dagger and just cutting it through, but that's the lions. What they want to do, they're not even going to leave the skin. Normally, we get the carnivores, and most of the lions after they hunt, they eat the internal organs, they eat the lungs, they eat the heart, the tongue, as they could be doing there, the ears, they eat the fillet steak, the sirloin steak, and then they move away, leaving the skin and leaving most of the meat on the bone, on the ribs. But as it is now, this buffalo will be cleaned to the bone, I can tell you for a fact. Before the hyenas come here, they'll wonder what type of lions were here, because this is not normally how they feed on their kills. Now, this particular buffalo was brought down 3 days ago by the very famous sausage girls. Sausage girls have a speciality, or they have the art of bringing down buffaloes. Even when the wildebeest are around and zebras, I mean, with a choice of zebra or wildebeest, I don't know why they have always gone for buffaloes led by one female called the kingtail. Now, after they ate for the last 3 days, this morning I think it was the last time on this kill, and they left, and Isaac saw 2 new males come in and a new female come in. Now, I got 4 males. I don't know where the other 2 have come from, but I've been trying to investigate who they are. 3 seem to know each other. I could be wrong, but 3 seem to know each other. The one standing there with the leg, and the 2 that are eating away from me. And if I am correct, they might be belonging to a particular coalition that is called the Ondojo Pike. Now, the 2 males around here that we think are the fathers of the girls of the sausages, Mitty, Limpy, and the Kingtail, also those came originally from the Ondojo Pike. Actually, we call them Ondojo Pike males, but there were youngsters in that particular pride. Now, we got a feeling, I'm not very sure, these particular young males here come from that pride. And I can tell that by their behavior. When you come close, not very close to the Ondojo Pike males, when you come close to another coalition of the male we all know called Kipoli and the other 2 youngsters, when you come close to the other male, for example, the Kichwa males, when you come close to the Scarface and his brothers and the other males of the Salt Lake, they always tend to accommodate us and they never behave differently. Initially, when we got here, their body language was like, we do not want you close. And they did not look very happy. Well, they have settled down since because I think they have food and they have found out also we are friendly people. But that kind of behavior I have only seen with that particular pride that is called the Ondonyos. So I got a feeling that 3 of these males come from that particular pride, and the other one could be a member of the Owino. And what would happen is food has brought them together. They have a commonality, and why not be together when they eat, and then maybe the differences will show up once this meal is finished. And just looking at the color of this, of the mane, it's not a color that we see every now and then. They look very different. I mean, to me, it's months since I saw these males here. Very shaggy mane. Yeah, holding a leg there. He's not letting go. And remember, we always love questions or comments. Magic Dragon, always a pleasure to hear your name. The largest coalition I have seen of lions, I would say, is the Scarface, and it is right here in the Mara Triangle. They normally like hanging around the Mara River, that particular territory, and Scarface has 3 brothers, and that makes them 4. So to me, that's one of the largest coalition I've seen, well, where I work or where I live here in the Mara. But there's one big coalition I saw in Serengeti that had 6 males. Serengeti Magic Dragons, I'm sure you know, is a national park in Tanzania. 6 fully grown males, and it was massive. And they used to behave like the musketeers, the cheetah musketeers here in the Mara, the other side of the National Reserve. But here in the Mara Triangle, I would say, Magic Dragon, let's talk of those 4 boys that are led by the Scarface. Those 4 could be the largest coalition I know in this particular area. Now, Magic Dragon, I'm sure you know the Olololo Pride. Olololo Pride, I think the 7 youngsters there, or is it 5, of young males, and I got a feeling Magic Dragon come the end of the year, they'll be shown the door either by the males, they are the Kichwa males, or they'll choose to leave the NATO Pride, and if that happens, that could be one of the largest coalitions I'll have known, say, the whole country of Kenya. I can't wait. The other day, the 4 of them, they brought down a buffalo by themselves, which was something very good, showing that very soon or later they'll be able to make kills for themselves. Well, I continue staying with these boys and one girl enjoying hopefully should be allowed in the party to join on the table. But in the meantime, let's take you back across to Ali in Juma.
We are. Seems like we finally have had some luck with the youngsters, even though they might have, well, at least the ones that we're looking at, not born anytime soon. But it's always lovely to see Jumas in South Africa. Funny enough, it's amazing how many people come on safari, and then here is not as easy as perhaps it could be in the Mara, where if you go at the right time, then you have thousands and even millions of them. There's our baby. Well done. Hi, little one. You're looking very pretty. Now you see baby zebras when they're still tiny, they're more of a brown caramel color. And as they start becoming older, where they start becoming more, the typical zebra, plain zebra colors of that white and black, and then that in-between caramel that they've got on their rump. Very pretty ones. They all seem to be in quite a healthy condition, I must say. And they are about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them, I think I can count. And it's nice because they've got a bunch of other antelope around them. There are some impala. There were some kudu that have gone behind the bushes, but they are here. And there was even one wildebeest somewhere in the distance. I'm not too sure where he's gone off to, but it seems like we found the happy place for everyone. And it's funny, this morning we drove around here. There's a kudu, well spotted, Seb. You think that you can hide, but if there's a camera with a zoom, the paparazzis will find you, my friend. Privacy for no one. Well, there's one of the kudus that we saw earlier, and it's quite a nice setting because there are a bunch of different species of antelope or herbivores feeding around here. And what is interesting is that all of the ones that we're looking at, perhaps maybe the impala or the zebra, they feed at different heights. So you'll see the kudus are going to be feeding on the leaves of the trees, as you can see that one walking around over there. The impalas are considered mixed feeders, so they'll eat a little bit perhaps on the grasses, but maybe not the same amount as the zebras, and then some on the trees, and then the zebras are going to eat the grass. So it's just for safety. It's good for them to be around each other, especially in this type of rainy, windy day where a lot of the predators are active throughout the day. It's just more ears and more eyes paying attention to everything that's going on. And then if one, doesn't matter which species, if one were to start running or alarming, that would be an alarm for everybody, a warning sign for everyone to be careful, as there might be something around for them. Although it doesn't seem like there's too much. It would be pretty amazing if there was a lion hiding somewhere, but I don't think that is the case. Everyone seems pretty relaxed right now. Nobody's really spotted anything that's out of the ordinary, so they're all pretty happy to start feeding. Hello, zebras. Now this is one. That was an alarm call, was it? Sounded like from an impala, and we've got a big herd around here, but they're all relaxing, so I don't know. I think it might be worth it just to stick around with them, see what it is that they're looking. Mr. Tech, their legs are shivering just to try and get rid of all the flies that follow them. So you see the tail is swatting all the flies away, and a lot of the times the flies go and land on their legs, so they move their muscles like this to try and almost like scare them away, because they are an irritation for some of these species. I heard sort of that alarm call again, but everybody's pretty relaxed, so I don't know what's happening with this impala. I think maybe we've got an impala that's crying wolf. What's happening, impala? Why are you guys all... Now we've got a big herd, breeding herd, a lot of babies, a lot of little ones, and they're all around here. And even if you look amongst them, you see all the youngsters are much bigger than the little one that we saw just a little bit earlier on the drive today. So that's actually... Why are you guys all alarming? I feel like I'm gonna... Yeah, let's go investigate, see what's happening, see what the impalas are looking at. I don't know. The impala are definitely testing us, Emma. I don't know what they're up to because there's nothing I can see. And they're alarming, but there was a male that was acting funny earlier, so I don't know if this is the one male has a bit too much testosterone in the system. But impala game of charades, or rutting. Although it's too early for the impalas to be rutting and to be making those noises. And normally that happens around about April, when the impalas start fighting each other, or the male impalas start fighting each other for the rights to breed with the herds of females. Everyone's quite relaxed now. Guys, what's going on? I'm not too sure what's going on. Seems like everyone's fighting over something today. So let's go back across to Davy and see if the lions are fighting for the remains.
The party here continues, and I'm trying to imagine if it was one impala, how long it would have taken these lions to divide down. Maybe it could have been a starter or, first course, because these lions have been here eating, and not sure if this buffalo would come back. Would be like, honestly, you must be very hungry, lions. Oh, well, if it was a zebra, I'm sure by now there'd be nothing left. Luckily, it was a huge male buffalo that these lions here are enjoying, and you can see they have a very weird behavior. Look at them, how they're grimacing a little bit and trying to growl and looking at a distance. Is because from a distance they can see another lioness, fully grown lioness, that is, did you hear that? That is a member of the Sausage Tree Pride. Now, the Sausage Tree Pride are the lions that brought down this buffalo here 3 days ago. Now, these are lions that I have not seen for a very long time. I've been trying to ID them, and I have grouped them into 2 groups. Now, there are 3 males and 1 young girl, which I think would be coming from a particular pride called the Ondonyo Park, which lives very close. Oops, our run is very full, very close to Tanzania. And there's 1 youngster male, which I think would be coming from another pride that we call the Oweno. Pull your side and I pull my side. So what they're trying to do is to open up the head, or just to deskin the head. I'm not sure whether that is English, but move the skin that's covering the head. Kala, you see, is a snarly face. I agree with you. And, Kala, I hope you've been watching, and hopefully this is not disturbing to you or to any of, any other viewer, because this is how things go out here in the wilderness, and lions have to bring someone down for them to survive. And unfortunately, it was the fate of this male buffalo that was brought down by the sausage girls. Hope you can hear them panting and crunching and pulling the meat from that buffalo. See the amount of grass and red or dried or clotted blood on it. Remy, very good. You're right. What they want is the brain. Exactly, that makes sense. And that's why they're trying to remove the skin from the head. And hopefully they'll have the right tools to break the skull to be able to access the brain. I would imagine. Exactly. And yeah, get into zombie. And I would imagine what the brain would taste like. Now, you better keep eating, because what would happen is, if the big boys that are in charge of these children come here, I can tell you, these boys will be gone here and they'll be taking off and running away like lightning. But the big boys had a lot of meat, I would say, earlier in the day and the last 3 days. So maybe they're like, all right, you can have what's left there. Or what's remaining there, leftovers, not very fresh food, not very good. Keep enjoying it. Let's see if we can hear them again growl at each other. Remember, as I was saying earlier, should you have any comments, as you've been doing as usual, and questions, as usual, hashtag Safari Live on Twitter. And truly, this is quite a feast to have seen, these 5 lions here just trying to get as much as they can. Beck, you'd like to know how far far I am from the Ololo territory. Give or take 40 miles, I'm talking about 25 kilometers. So this is a different territory. I would say it could be about 40 miles away from the Ololo territory. So yeah, roughly that's my estimate, about 40 miles from that other pride. And I'm sure Bex, you know how territorial lions are. So this particular area belongs to the sausages, but not at this particular hour, because since this morning, about 9 o'clock in the morning, our time here, we had these new visitors coming in. And I do not know for how long they'll be here. I'll just call them visitors, you know, because visitors are people who come and go. Once the Olondoño boys, or the Olondoño Pike boys, you know, group together and they know that these boys are here, they'll give them no chance. I can tell you for a fact. They're going to fight them out. Which part of the body is that now? Definitely that's the lower side, I guess. That's the lower jaw. And you can see the nose is gone. The tongue is definitely gone. Maria, I'll tell you what. As the way things are now, the hyenas have not been able to sniff or to smell this. But as soon as they do, they'll start coming along very slowly. But of course, hyenas, Maria, know if the lions are still there, they don't want to take any chances. And more so, this particular pride of the sausage, it has been known to deal with hyenas ruthlessly. The last we had, it's when this sausage tree pride were hunting zebra in the evening, and unfortunately they missed that zebra and they were very frustrated. And a hyena came from nowhere thinking, well, if those lionesses are going to eat, something might be left. And because of the frustration, they almost killed that hyena. And of course, knowing how clever the hyenas are, I want to believe she passed a message, you know, to the other members. You know, that is one area, unless the lions are gone, don't go play around. Those lions will kill you. Well, vultures, we've been seeing vultures not very far from here on top of, you know, some thorn trees. And just the same case like the hyenas, until these lions are gone, they're not coming down to try and eat this buffalo. Well, I spent a couple of more minutes here waiting to see if the girls of the sausage will come, or the big males of the Olondoño Pike. But as to that, I'm sure Steve Ovo is trying to catch up with some big mammals.
Thank you, Gigi. Enjoy your time as you always do with the sausage tree pride. It's always funny, that last stage. The animals start competing over the last morsels of a kill. It always can be quite interesting, especially when male lions are on the scene. Well, we managed to finally catch up with what I think is that same herd we had earlier. You can only see two. They came through to Torchwood. They went to the Torchwood watering hole, had a drink, and then they moved north. My thoughts were that Chitwa watering hole was just a little bit too green and manky for them. They had a little bit of a taste, and enough to just get them through an hour or so, and then they marched north to a nicely freshly pumped watering hole in the form of Torchwood. But let's see if we could get around and maybe follow up on some of these elephants some more, because they had some really nice little babies. We're sort of on the outskirts, the western side of Torchwood now. We're about to come out onto Chitakatla now over here, and then head north. Just see the two, but there were lots of tracks crossing the road just before, with a little bit of dung. And they're heading directly north towards, if they keep the same sort of line, towards Bufosuk watering hole. But what normally what elephants do is they march in a straight line to water, and then as they have sated themselves and feeling a lot better from a water point of view, then they slowly, meanderingly feed like this as they move away. And then they turn back and come to drink or go somewhere else. Maruti, you want to know if elephants are different colors? Well, elephants are generally always gray, and the colors you might see, similar with rhino and with elephant, black and white rhino, is they like to wallow. They like to wallow in the mud, and they also like to sand bath. So generally you find the color of the sand in an area, or the soil in an area, definitely has a huge impact on the color that the elephants come about. But there was a pink elephant here last year, Noel had. Some of us believed it to be an albino. And that is obviously just a pigment issue. And it'll be really hard to be an albino, no melanin in your skin out here in the African wilderness, because there's a very good chance that your skin will just get burnt and, well, not very nice. That elephant that was pink probably has to cover a huge amount of its body with soil, mud and sediment all the time as a form of sun cream. Okay, well, we're just on Cheetah Cut Line now, heading north. Also going to see the elephants do head in this direction. That'd be nice to see. They might pop out at the next road, which will be central. And but other than that, we're also looking to see if there's any tracks of Mrs. Tlalamba, little Princess Tlalamba or Tundi. I've checked a little bit of sort of the watering hole area around Torchwood. Now I come back onto Djuma. I know that Ali has been looking in the area where I think Tlalamba was last seen. I still have not seen her since August, folks. Can you believe it? That would be so nice to see her. She'll just come out and it'll be a wonderful surprise, I'm sure. BK, you've seen her plenty of times now. Yeah, I see BK's seen her all the time. I just seem to keep missing her. BK has almost seen everything. Well, he saw his first zebra just now at the beginning of drive. He's like, that's my first zebra. How nice is that? But check off these little notches as you go. One day, BK, you'll have seen all the animals. You haven't seen a honey badger yet. He's seen a honey badger, my man. There we go. There we go. Honey badgers. I'm loving that video that's going around on social media with the honey badgers being attacked by the leopard, and the leopard getting a little bit of a lesson in discipline from the honey badgers. I find absolutely sensational. Well, before the sun sets below the horizon, let's go up to Gigi, who's positioned in the perfect spot.
Hi, Levi. Well, excellent, Steve. Now we decided to leave the lions because I wanted to come to a different area and show you the sunset in the Mara Triangle and how it looks like. Now, it's a bit obstructed, I would say. The visuals are not very good because one side there's a very heavy or very thick cloud. But look at that sunset. We can't actually see the ball itself, but those colors are what I've always been calling the golden moments. Isn't that wonderful? Now, one side to the left, if you look carefully, the clouds there are rather dark. And that's the direction of a country called Tanzania. And definitely below that cloud is the Serengeti National Park. And that's where all the wildebeest, most of the zebras, and most of the wildebeest are. Angela, thank you very much. You say beautiful. Many thanks, Angela. And this is one of the joys we have as guides because, Angela, we are seeing this every other day, in the morning, in the afternoon. Every day we come out. This is Africa for you, Angela. And I was saying earlier, under that cloud, that's where the wildebeest are. And any time now, they'll be bringing... Sorry, what did Ali say? Is any time now they'll be bringing down the calves. I thank you very much. You're saying every sunset is different. So very true. Because the certain day, I'll tell you, we see the ball itself. But at the moment, if you look at that sunset, the ball is not there. But either way, we still have those beautiful, wonderful colors. So, and that's the big drop where the Olololo escarpment ends. If you look here to the right of your screen, that's where they exactly, thank you, Archie. That's the very end of the Olololo escarpment. And it starts very close to where we are, the camp we live in. And it's about, 30 kilometers, 24, 23, 22 so miles long. And So you can see how it forms the boundary of the Mara Triangle on that one side, and how you actually see the sunset towards the left with thick clouds. That's the other side of the boundary of the Mara Triangle, and maybe to the east of where I am, or to my 9 o'clock, will be the Mara River, and that's how we end up seeing the Mara Triangle. Beautiful. Very good. With a wonderful sunset here, let's go to Ali, who have, a very different weather pattern that's a bit cloudy in Joma.
Well, considering we haven't seen too many animals, I think we're doing just fine. I would love to see the sunshine tomorrow. That would be a great event. The impalas, unfortunately, were not alarming in anything. I think testosterone levels are starting to build up in the males, and some of them are just making funny noises, like ratting noises, well ahead of time, getting ready for what's coming their way when they start fighting each other for the rights to mate with the females. But there was really nothing else around. The kudu were not bothered, the wildebeest was not bothered, the zebras were not bothered, and the other, 500 impala that were there were also not bothered. So I don't think there was too much to be concerned about. So we've come in one last effort to try and see if maybe Tlalamba is around Guaripan. I couldn't shake the feeling that this morning perhaps she was somewhere around here in one of the blocks, but they are and I wouldn't be surprised that we actually drove straight past her, or even could have driven just straight past her. She's not a big leopard, she's still a youngster, so all she has to do in some spots is just lie under a bush. And when we had it the other day here at Guaripan, we were just saying that had it not been for the fact that she had her head up, it would have been impossible to see her. Yes, she does hide very well indeed, Emma. So we're heading towards Guaripan again, see if maybe there's anything around there. There have been some movement around the area. You can see a lot of elephant tracks on the road, or where they've dragged their trunks. That looks almost like some stump has been dragged around. But no spots yet, but who knows, maybe we'll get lucky at some point. And then, whoo, there was a francolin that just flew off a bush and gave me a heart attack. Okay then. But no spots for now. Who knows? Maybe we'll get lucky. Or it could have even been that sometime during the day, perhaps Mama Tandy actually found her or came back to get her and then took her back to the kill. Because last time she was seen, or that Tandy was seen, she actually made a kill that Tingana stole from her. It was, I think, either a little diker or a steenbok, so it didn't last long, and then it was definitely not worth for her to come back, fetch Tlalamba all the way there for a kill that had been lost. Tristan did mention that she was looking full, so maybe she's either been surviving on smaller things of her own, perhaps not mongoose, because that seems to scare her a little bit. She cannot believe that she actually catches them. Let's see. MGM, yes, the vegetation at the moment, it's a bit of it makes us feel two things. A lot of wonder, because it's beautiful and the green colors are just stunning, and there are so many flowers and trees are blooming and everything, so it's very pretty. But it does make our lives a little bit more difficult in terms of finding creatures, because, well, it's that much thicker, so our field of view is not that great. What are these? You little leopard, did you walk on top of my vehicle tracks? You did. Naughty Tlalamba. Right, I'm gonna try and show you what it is that I'm looking at. Don't know if we'll be able, because the road doesn't look that great, and if I don't stall the car, that might be even better. Now, sneaky, this is where she's definitely still around, but I think perhaps she's moved. Sorry, Seb, I don't know if you can get the ones here. It's a little, there's one here and there's one here.
I can get them.
Okay, they're not ideal, but you can see that she's walked on top of my vehicle tracks. I drove this road in the morning and these tracks were not here, and you can see where she's plunked her feet here, scratching all this pattern of the car, and she's walked in that direction over there. So there's a drainage line, of course, as a
Direction? Which direction?
that direction, sorry. That direction. She walked here and then she walked through there. So there's, of course, a drainage line down there, which is not ideal. So I think what we're going to do is just turn around and go towards the crossing towards Nyala Road over there, see if maybe we get lucky. There was some Franklin that were making a noise just now, so who knows, maybe that was actually her. Or maybe she came here and did a loop around. But with the light slowly starting to go, why not be easy? Seems like David is enjoying the beautiful landscape, and while we try to maneuver through ours, we'll send you guys across to him.
Yes, Ali, you're very right. And the landscape is my thing now, having seen the sunset and having some cloudy or some walls of rain from the eastern horizon. I'm looking at the tree where I had that buffalo that was being devoured by those lions, and it moved about half a kilometer away. And this is what I found. Well, ladies and gentlemen, these are the actual killers of that buffalo that we see being devoured by those youngsters there. And these are the sausage tree pride. Very lucky to see 5 of them together and 3 cubs. The one you see the farthest on the screen has 1 cub. My guess is that is Limpy. She initially had 2 5 months ago, and somehow, unfortunately, she lost 1. Nobody knows what happened. We have since identified that cub to be a boy. And if you move to the right a little bit, there's another lady there. We don't have a name for her yet. And she got cubs, which are a little bit older than those ones for Limpy. And they're about 6 months old, which apparently they are also boys. She gave birth to 2, and she has brought them up very well. No major issues. Now, I said the sausage tree pride normally consists of 5 girls, where all of them are here, and I want to believe 2 of those girls, one of them is Kinktail, and the other one will be Mitty, and of course there's one other one that we have not identified. So 3 of these, 2 of them, or one of them is Kinktail, and the other one is Mitty. Now, talk of Kinky. Not sure I got your question right, but Kinktail is here, and we have not seen her cubs yet. Not sure if that was your question, but Kinktail girl is here. We haven't seen her cubs yet, but we have seen the cubs of Mitty, which are 4 cubs. Very, very good. Now I get your question, the relationship between Kinktail and Mitty. Now, we do not know for a fact, but we have our own thoughts, and we think Kinktail is the mother of Mitty. So we think those cubs, Kinktail, would be their grandmother. We do not know that for a fact since we started following this particular pride. But one thing is definite. Kinktail is the oldest female in this particular pride. And if Mitty is not her daughter, then either Limpy or either of those 2 other females could be her daughters. But we think that either the 4 girls are her daughters, or maybe 1 or 2 could be, or 3 could be her daughters. But we don't know for a fact how Kinktail relates with Mitty. What we know, Mitty got 4 cubs, but yesterday morning I was with them here, or rather yesterday afternoon, and I saw 3 cubs. And allow me to apologize for those gremlins that will always come, on and off. And once in a while, we are always able to fight them back. We truly apologize for that. And of course, we are back in business. So we're saying Mitty got 4 cubs. And yesterday in the afternoon, I was watching them eating the same buffalo that we saw earlier. But apparently, I saw 3 cubs and not 4. I'm very interested to know where the 4th one is. I was not worried because I would say 2 weeks ago, there's 1 cub that had also mysteriously disappeared for 2 days. And it resurfaced again on the 3rd day, was found by Isaac. And the one that had disappeared looks a bit smallish, not as strong as the other 3. That particular one I saw yesterday, so the one missed, or did not see yesterday, was one of the 3 that looked to be in good shape. My guess was she must have stayed back with the cubs of Kinky in her den. Well, let me see whether I can reposition myself to fight the gremlins that are attacking me. But in the meantime, we'll take you to Herbivore for an update.
Thank you, Gigi. What magnificent luck you're having with lions. I wish it was that easy for us here to just drive and whoops, there they are. We've really got to work hard here for our cats, especially lions. Well, when they're on the property, we put in some effort and we find them, mainly through tracking. Well, that's one of the things that is so amazing about the Mara, is you can just drive and drive and drive, and there we go. You'll just find animals, many, 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 one after the other. And some days it can be pretty quiet. That's just because maybe the grass is too long. But we've moved into the area where Ali's been working for Columbus. See if we can give her a hand. Would be wonderful to find that little princess. Hello, David. Do you want to know where the evokers have gone? Well, north of here in Buffelshoek is a very nice area. You know, it borders up with the Kruger and with Manuleti, and there's buffalo constantly moving through. I've never been on Buffelshoek, well, very briefly. I think the vegetation, or maybe the structure's a little bit more open, which facilitates the buffalo herds moving in and out, because they're constantly coming in and out. And I think there's also a fair amount of water in the north there, which buffalo obviously desire. And well, we know lions love buffalo, so they spend a lot of their time north of our boundary. They don't really see our boundary as anything. They come and go as they see fit. Sorry, I just drove over a branch there and thought it was something else. So the evokers I haven't seen. Last time I saw it was one of them with the little cut on his lip here. I saw it with one of the Unkuhumas right on the junction with Torchwood, Juma and Chitwa. That was 3 weeks ago already, but I haven't seen one since. But they do spend most of the time north of us here, seemingly no competition. No one's giving them any runaround. They have sort of the way of it, seeing as the Birminghams have all left and gone south, as many of you on Twitter were talking about going down to Londolozi for a little visit, seeing as the Birminghams are there, Hosanna might be there. Giraffe Girl, you want to know if Hosanna is happy down there? I think that's what you said. Well, we don't know. We saw a picture last night, or was it this morning? I don't know anymore, of him with an impala kill right in a tree on Londolozi. So he is there for the moment. But you must bear in mind, folks, where he's gone to, the void that the Birminghams filled as a lion pride or coalition, is a very busy part of the Sabi Sands, and it's a prime real estate, one would say. So the male leopards in those areas, not that I know too much, I'm sure Tristan knows more than me, but there might be a little gap. Maybe when he went there on his little sojourn earlier last year, he realized it was a good place. He just came back to get a little bit more bulked up. We don't know, but maybe he's gone back because he liked it. He liked the view. Maybe the impalas taste better down there. We don't really know. But he's got to carve out a spot within an area that is probably already held by another male. So it's going to be some time, as Jamie was talking about. Jamie was talking about how he's not going to settle straight away. He can't just pop into Londolozi and think he's going to stay there. He's going to move, he's going to move, he's going to move. Who knows where he's going to end up? All we can do is hope we can keep track of where he goes to. Okay, so we're approaching Quarry Pan now, where Ali... Oh, and we've got an elephant bull busy drinking. There we go. It all happens. It all happens. Just turn around the corner. Oh, I think he stopped drinking now. Hello, Mr. Ellie. Oh, hello. It's Daryl, everybody. It's Daryl. Hello, Daryl. I'm just going to switch off the car. He's got that very characteristic little thing in his earlobe, a little bell. Sorry about my vehicle. Now, Daryl, ladies and gentlemen, is well renowned for being a little bit of a pusher around. I haven't had any issues with Daryl myself. I think he quite likes the tone of my voice. See how he's moving away. There's no need to come and cause you trouble, but he is in full must at the moment, folks. If you can get a look between his legs there, BK, as he moves away. He's dribbling urine. His back legs are very, very wet. And an elephant bull in must, let me just move forward for you there. There you can see it dripping. An elephant bull in must is generally, you should generally just leave them alone. I've never had any, I can actually smell that smell. It's an Arabic word, must, M-U-H-S-T, must. And it very well describes what's going on in the smell. Now, I'm not going to follow him. I just wanted to get another view of him as he walks off. So elephant bulls and must generally are a little bit more grumpy than breeding herds or than bulls that are on their own and not in must. So it's always important to pay attention. Now, he's busy watching us right now. He's just up ahead here. Got to give him plenty of space. He's well known to give vehicles a little bit of a shout or a little bit of a rev. You can see his back legs are dripping there. Yep. Now, I've just pulled around the corner and I drove over some tracks of some breeding herds, of some females. And that is what's happening with a bull in must, is he's wanting to mate. He's wanting to find the females. This is the time of year, sort of January, February, March, April, maybe even May, when most of the females are sort of coming into estrus. They want to have babies sort of in the summer months, coming into summer months, a 22-month gestation. This is the time of year you find a lot of the females coming into estrus and the big dominant males all going into must. So as we wallow in the smell of Daryl as he wanders away from us, David Gitu is with not only his favorite pride of lions, but he's got the little sausages.
Very good, Steve, to have spotted Darrow, who, if I remember very well, Darrow is such a nice, humble elephant that could come very close to the camp in Juma. Now, you might see the same lions you were watching a few minutes ago looking different, and also the surrounding looking different. This is simply because it has gotten a little darker here, and Archie, who is my camera operator today, have decided to use a different camera that is called infrared. So you'll be seeing a lot of black and white and not seeing the very normal colors, you know, of grass or the lions. And for those of you who could be joining us now, this is the Sausage Tree Pride. 5 girls, 3 cubs at the moment, and you're very lucky to see them all. What I've been wanting to do or to see is the cubs of one of the females there, which is the lead female that's called the kingtail. We call her kingtail because she got a split, something like that. Yeah, something like that. She got a split on her tail. And because of time is almost coming up, I want to give you one more look of this favorite pride of David. Because of all the prides in the Mara, this is my number one. I have so many good reasons to love them. And I've always said one of them, or the main reason, is their specialities of bringing down buffaloes, and it's actually the females who do that. They normally do that even without the help of the males or the boys that are pride males. Well, it has been a lovely afternoon here in Kenya and also in Juma in South Africa with Steve and I and myself. We want to thank you very much for having joined us. Hopefully you'll be joining us again tomorrow morning, and from all of us, thank you so very much and goodbye.